All right, what is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is Tank Kramer. I'm with Brandman Brandon down there, Brian the Grizzly over here, and we're going to talk about Amazon's new rebooted detective show. I'm trying to think of like different words, but Cross with Aldis Hodge coming in, and this time it's his take on the role. We had Morgan Freeman with it before, Tyler Perry before. But those both, I believe, were movies. So we get our first like series with Cross. And who else better to do it besides Aldis Hodge and Amazon? Because Amazon knows how to make these like espionage detective spy thriller kind of stuff, and this is right there with it. So yeah, so we're gonna do the whole season. I believe 8 episodes. Full spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, hit pause, come back, join the conversation. But if you're in the live chat, let us know your thoughts about the show. We're gonna get into our likes, some of our dislikes, if there are any, and then kind of rate it at the end. And then we got some news about season 2 that we'll get to right before we finish it off. But Brandman, what are some things you liked about this show?
Well, this show first and foremost is continuing my belief that shows on streaming services most likely are the way to go with novel adaptations. We've sung the praises of Aldis Hodge over and over and over again on this show, and this is really no different. It's great to see him in a leading role where he really gets to perform. And I think, knowing the James Patterson novels, I think this is the first time they've really stuck the landing with the casting. Morgan Freeman was fine. He was just very Morgan Freeman in the role of Alex Cross. Tyler Perry was just a very strange choice.
That's weird.
Yeah. But I think they've really done it with the casting of Hodge. And I think he's the best thing about it. I don't think the show would have worked nearly as well as it is had they not cast him. And I like his dynamic with Isaiah Mustafa, who needs to be in more movies after this, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just the whole atmosphere and how they balance a lot of the kind of more action and police procedure mystery based content with a lot of the smaller, more serious moments. Some of the serious moments had me kind of going like this, or but yeah,
you're coming down.
Yeah, it's one of those that really leaves you waiting to see what happens next, and I felt very invested. I think they're doing great. Can't wait to watch more of it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you, Brian? Initial thoughts of the show.
When you talking about psychological thriller, it had all the elements that you really want. I mean, it had the sadistic killer, it has the idea between Black Lives Matter, outside the real world things you deal with as cops, the difference between the community and cops, and then the idea of being Black and being a cop and why you choose those things, and then his personal life. It was so many layers of goodness. Like, there's things that have layers, right? But then when you have quality layers, that every layer you pull back is another thing that you really need out of this character. That's what we got for the show. So the writers did a great job, and I think Aldis Hodge is a chameleon. I think they actually made fun of that in Leverage. So they put him in all these different situations, and he's just able to just pull it out no matter what. That's who he is. So put him in this show with his pedigree, and he was able to portray a person who is Black, that still believes in the judicial system, that's also a psychologist, that's also a father, that's also someone who's dealing with a lot of mental struggles. But that's a real person, right? When you put that all together, you portrayed a real person. Everyone is not just one thing or the other. You're multiple layers of those things, and he did a great job with that. And his relationship between him and Samson, or John, whatever, it's just is elite. His relationship between his kids was elite. His grandmother, just unbelievable things, one after another. I love this show. I love Aldis Hodge. I just wish I got more of it, and hopefully we do. So,
yeah. T said, Nana Mama was great. She was.
Mm-hmm.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somewhere towards the later middle area when like, oh, this is why Cross is so good. Like,
yeah.
like she's a badass. It's like she don't play around. So, yeah, I did like her.
Yes, she was.
Boy, I was like, man, you doing a real good job being able to hold that off. It was like day 2. I've been like, well, nothing I can do about this.
Like that's it. But yeah, man, for me, I thought it was like I was invested when he did the first interrogation with like the racist guy. I was like, it was funny. It was like it was just well done where you're just like kind of sitting at the edge of your seat, like how he's handling the situation with this guy and everything. So I'm like, damn, this is like 15 minutes first episode, and I'm like, I'm sold already. So and it just got so much better throughout that, like Brian said, with all the layers of everything, you know, because you got him dealing with being a psychologist and a cop, so like he thinks differently, plus the kids, plus the trauma. You're dealing with your ex-wife, and you're dealing with your new like girlfriend.
I mean, ex-wife is his murdered wife, basically.
Yeah, murdered wife, you know, and it's really like well done when you can have multiple stories, you know, going on at the same time, and you never feel lost. And I think that was one of my best things, was like I knew when he was talking about this, I knew when he was talking about this, and I know, like, you know, how sometimes they affected each other, but like you never felt confused on like, wait, I thought you were doing that, or you were doing this, you know. It's like they kept it simple with like what's going on, meanwhile still making it very entertaining, and it was just like, super well. Even Bobby, it was the ex-cop who was the helper. He was, oh man, he was like, because he was so high and cocaine, and he was like a character, you know, but it was like a former cop, you know, kind of turned to he wasn't, I mean, he was a bad guy, but
he was a horrible person.
He was a really bad person, you know, but you know, just all like every side character I thought was entertaining, you know, which is how you sell making your main character, you know, Cross better, you know, more in depth, more layers and everything like that. And like Brandman saying Isaiah Mufasa with being John, that was great. I think their relationship really like showed like I think one thing just like in the world is like you need to have positive masculinity, and I think their relationship really pushed that, you know, where they were like, hey, you need help, man. I can only help you so much. You got to help yourself out, you know, and them pushing, and it wasn't like oh, don't be a little bitch, you know.
How they're also fighting, they're boxing, they're doing things that are still okay to be masculine, but still say I'm vulnerable, but also describing the fact that men don't like to go for help. Even a psychologist doesn't want to have to go for help. You don't want to have to ask for that, but that's part of it, and breaking down those walls to get to that point.
Yeah. So you had like super in-depth things like that, and then it had just, if you didn't even want to think about that, it had like very superficial stuff where I think you can enjoy it with the action and the mystery, the Sherlock Holmes of it all kind of stuff. So
totally,
it had everything for everybody, I think.
It also didn't have any loose threads, you know, like they never forgot about the Black Lives Matter part. They never forgot about who the victims were, right? They never forgot about people that are dropping off flowers to at Alex Cross. That wasn't even with the main story, but they never forgot about it. You know, they kept it all going within it. And I just thought that was important, that you could remember the point of what you're doing. And boy, I mean, just it was so well done.
Yeah. The villain, yes. The villain was great. And it was Ryan Agold, you know, was with Ed Ramsey, was the main bad guy of it, of the main bad guy. I couldn't put my finger on it. Why did I see him from somewhere else? And he was from that Amsterdam doctor movie or doctor show.
New Amsterdam.
New
He
Amsterdam.
sure was.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it took
That's
me a
where I knew him
while to
from.
figure it until the end. And I'm
I
like,
thought it was
oh,
like
and
the
I
Blacklist.
like,
I thought I saw him in.
maybe, but I knew
Yeah.
like, I've always watched those like, doctor shows because I'm a nerd like that. And he was good in that. And it reminded me, like, I seen him before. It was that stupid bleach blonde hair that he had.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was a really good villain, and whenever you do like a Sherlocky kind of thing like this, you need to have somebody as smart or thinks they're at least as smart as the smart good guy,
And
and
powerful, probably more
and
powerful and able to do it. Yeah.
yeah, because he's able to do things on a different level because of the money and he has things on everybody, but he got under, Cross's skin, and like that's supposed to happen. So
Mhm.
I mean,
the
everyone
villain
got
is
on the
what made it
Crawford's
good.
skin. Come
Towards
on.
the end, it did.
No, even at the beginning. Do you guys remember the dinner scene with Elle and her group, whatever, and the little
Mhm.
guy was talking about the Black Lives Matter and talking about calling him Uncle
Mhm.
Tom and all that stuff, and Alex was like to whoop his ass
Uh-huh.
right there.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you must have lost your mind, right? I thought
Yeah.
that was really entertaining, but they once again another layer.
Yeah, that's what what's up, Mr. YouTube says. Same thing. Cross did a good job of including BLM and police brutality without being heavy-handed. But
not forgetting about it and then coming back to that at the end of the show.
Coming full circle. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, so I want to get into some of the they're not bad things, but some of the issues I had. And my first one was, how are you not asking Elle to be your wife by the end of this show? By the end of this season, I was like, bro, like she forgave you with your outbursts. It was like I get with the ex-wife. I was like, she took a taser for your kids, man. Like she is
but
a badass.
if
Like,
you're
she is.
still in love with your wife, it wouldn't be fair to marry another
It
woman.
wouldn't be fair to her, and I know he's got to deal with that stuff, but it was like,
and he's just
she's
starting that first step, going to therapy, and that was I'm now committed to you, right? And I'm told this first step to get through therapy because that, and I understood why he wouldn't get there.
Yeah.
I mean, they only had sex one time.
Yeah. But it was like,
you to
what
marry
are
me
the
at
odds
one
that
time?
you find the love of your life, and stuff happens and you lose her, and then like a year later you find a woman that's like
You didn't find
gonna
her.
look like
They've known each other since they were little kids.
Yeah. So I just thought that was like, I'm like, bro, that's somebody you keep around. That's a keeper.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's a keeper for sure.
That was my only
question.
Bro,
Was how do you
put a ring
find
on
that many good women in a row?
Right?
Come on, man.
Back to back.
I love you, and you do
Yeah.
wrong, and they still like right by your side.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Like,
In
you
DC with a
threatened her
house?
friend. And she was like, it's all right. But by the end, she's like taking care of your kids, like helping, looking out for your kids, because she knows, like the kids are innocent and helping you out. She was a badass. Throughout
She
it.
was playing. She was making her time. She was planning out things. It was like, she's been watching for a long time, so don't give her too much credit.
Yeah. No, it's too soon. It's only been a year after the love of his life. Yeah. I get, like, he wasn't ready to move on. Obviously, they had a whole scene about it, about him just not being able to be intimate because the feelings, not the feelings weren't there. Is like they were also somewhere else, and that was the problem. So you have to kind of handle that, and that was like a whole thing with him and John telling him, and then and the kids,
and the mama,
him and his grandma.
Hey,
like
you need to start healing. It was also the trauma. His trauma was affecting his kids. I mean, they couldn't get past it. He's the only one, but he's the linchpin, right? But he's the only one couldn't get away from it. Man.
Yeah. Any other parts that you guys like? Obviously, that didn't ruin the show for me, But I was just like, it was kind of like the thing where you're like, by the end of the show, I was like, bro, Dad, you keep her. But anything that you didn't like, or maybe felt maybe rushed, or anything like that? You guys got anything?
No, I liked the pacing of the show.
Yeah.
And I liked how they handled the multiple subplots, and I thought the balance of all the aspects and everything that was going on in Cross's life was pretty well handled.
Yep.
I think they pulled off that balancing act very, very well.
Mm.
I can't really think of anything on the fly that I disliked about it. I'd have to think on it.
Yeah. Yeah. What you, Brian? Anything?
So Kayla Craig was, that character. First of all, I thought because she was hitting on both, on Alex and on John, right, the entire time, all the time. So I thought that was very. It felt very weird. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you going to either one of these guys? I'm just trying to find my way to get my foot in the door, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then the other side of my mind was saying she could have had the foot in the door immediately. I don't know. She's fine as hell. So I don't know. Like, it was weird, but I just thought like, you could see her doing that. Then the chief of police, how she was so willing to go along with so much stuff, that was kind of hard for me to watch. The other detectives being like, "Hey, I know what I'm doing." He's ready to throw the whole gangster drug dealer thing onto these people, which was hard to watch in itself too, because that's what people do. You realize that they try to put you into this box, and this is not critiquing the show, but critiquing us, and that really bringing that to light. And it was hard for me to enjoy that part. And it got to a couple of points where I had to stop watching it because I was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
But knowing that this is the reason why they're doing it, so I'm like, congratulations, good job. But
I get exactly what, because that happened to me a few times where I was like frustrating to watch, to see like them like not like, or any character kind of figure out like things like that and stuff. It was just, but it's a TV show. That's what TV shows do. They need that drama. They need that, like, as grounded as this was, there's still like some of that you have to do things for the drama, for the plot kind of stuff. So but it's also good that once you get invested, that you are getting angry when they make a stupid decision, or you get angry that they didn't see this, or they did that, so stuff like that. So anything else?
It's not
Also,
negative.
I was looking up the actress who played was it Kayla? She was in Supernatural.
I know her. I know her. Yeah. I always wanted Dean. I was like, "What are you doing, Dean? She's the one. What's wrong with you, man?" So from way back, I've been thinking about that for a long time. I mean, think Veronica Mars. She was in there.
She sure was on Veronica Mars. Yeah,
she's always Joe for me in the Supernatural. So I was so mad. I was like, "Come on, man." Joe was fine.
What we got? The pregnant cop was a step too far for me.
No, I knew it was her the entire time.
Yeah. Because that towards the middle of the show, you like, and you find out he's using people, then you start looking out like who's got stuff they can lose, or along those lines. Obviously, politicians. So anytime they introduce a politician,
you saw her whole thing play out in front of you, right? So you knew it wasn't her because you saw everything. Yeah.
But for me, anytime they had a politician, I was like, he got them. When she was pregnant, I'm like, maybe if he got to her, but there was a really good twist in this one. The pregnant one was a step too far, but it was interesting though. It was interesting. I think that she's throwing in there for a twist to be a twist. It's kind of
because she wasn't that character. That's not a character in the books.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Or it's a guy or something like that. I think it's a guy.
Okay.
The FBI agent.
Yeah. Same points and situation and drill home in the books. Yeah. Oh, if it keeps with the books, relationships won't happen. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
That relationship won't happen.
Which makes sense. Like that's what they do. Like James Bond can't be ever tied down. Somebody like Alex Cross can have a girlfriend for a while, but he's got to say that father figure with that relationship, boy, like a girl relationship. Like a marriage would make things a little too, I won't say not easy, but easy to write for, I guess, rather than being a girlfriend and you're dealing with new relationship stuff all the time. So just more drama. I get why they always do that. Yeah. Any scenes where you're like, damn, that was great. You guys can go.
Oh, come on. I think I talked about this with the Mustafa and Aldis Hodge, that when they're fighting with each other and they're really going at it. I mean, they're in the locker room, they're ready to go throw hands. Let's go. I'm not talking to him. He's looking at his phone, man. I'm like, he wants to call him. He's like, I ain't gonna call him. You gotta call me. And when Cross finally goes there and apologizes and asks him, say, he's a motherfucker. You are right. I did all this, admitted everything, and was pouring his heart out. And before he even got done, he was like, "Stop! You had me a motherfucker. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm with you." Like, and that was real brother love, like for real. And I loved seeing that. And that was, I mean, it hit me real hard. But that one and the dinner scene when they're going back at each other, man, that was just excellent. Oh. And then the last thing is when she almost gets away with the girl almost gets away, and the rich lady sees her, and he says, "You don't say nothing," and she just kind of walks away.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
that was unbelievable.
Yeah, some of the twists were pretty good. Like him not being dead. And he's in the hospital. She's in the hospital. I knew that was gonna happen, but I was like, "Oh damn!" Like,
say who never saw that stuff that slows your the beat of your heart down, to make you to simulate death.
You get like,
and then you walk, they just leave you alone, like. So no, those are great scenes.
That's the whole the death of Superman kind of thing. Like, oh, he's not really dead. His heart beat only once every day or some shit. Something like that. It's like that makes no sense, but okay, it works. Well, you, Brandman, anything?
Like anything else that I liked about it?
Anything, like any scenes that you cool?
We already talked about the dinner scene.
Cool.
The scene where his daughter heard the voice in the backyard kind of had me uneasy, and I'm like yelling at the screen to like Nana Mama, turn around, pay attention. What are you doing? No. That was a good one. I liked some of the kind of I don't want to say it was like throwaway lines, but some of the callbacks to the original to some of the other novels and like some of the other exploits of Cross, like dealing with Gary Sinise, and I think there was like one or two other lines that they mentioned, kind of some of the other things. So like, it's world building without being too heavy handed, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
That was I was looking at one of the comments on
that was great.
That was
Bobby Trey listening to 3-6 Mafia and getting coked up. Yeah, that
was like,
wow. But it was so good because like he had to do it because he was right next to the girlfriend or whatever it was. So he had to get like all worked up and riled up. But it's just like like he was like a Speedo, like dancing and doing like karate kicks off the table and shit. Like him in the music throughout the whole show, anytime he would start singing like songs, it was just like it was interesting. He was,
and I like that it was that particular song because
exactly
that song, and I go back.
Even the idea of what 3-6 Mafia is about, so that was all of it. It was good timing. It was really good.
So that was definitely a funny kind of scene, but like and then it's followed by a very serious scene. You're like, oh, this guy is
Yeah.
not a good guy. But yeah, that was a good scene. For me, I had two that were like one was like super serious. Besides everything Brian said, I love that Brandman said those are all great scenes. Some of the best scenes of those show. But when they're on the road trip and Cross and his son are in the hotel, and they're talking about the mom and he's like, oh, sometimes it's okay to talk about him, and they're like connecting, and Cross is finally opening up to it, and that was like so good. But when the son says like, you lost mommy, I lost mommy, and you, I was like, damn, and Aldis Hodge was such a good like actor that he's just like,
you felt the like it was a punch.
Like
he looked like he got punched in the
stomach.
stomach.
Like he got like he just ripped out the heart, punched it, and put it back in. It's like like it's like do the Ralph Wiggum. He was like, and here's where his heart breaks. Exactly what happened, and it was and it was so like touching, because like he needed it, but his son needed it, and they were just like there together, and it was like so good. Another one I know I told Brian earlier was when John and Alex are on the porch, and they were talking about you needed a bath or something like that, and Cross had told him, he goes, you smell like something in Old Spice. I was like, you're telling the Old Spice man that he smells like Old Spice?
I'll wait for the commercial to come on, and he was like, hello ladies.
Oh my god, I'm on a horse. No, I'm not.
On a horse.
I thought that was funny because like it's something that like for the people that know, it's like a little inside joke, but it doesn't take away from like the scene that they're having. And I was like, I love when they're able to do stuff like that, like because Isaiah Mufasa is like known as the Old Spice guy.
No, the Old Spice guy, yeah.
Even if he hasn't done a commercial in years, but he's still the Old Spice guy, And that joke was great, and that's why I will always be angry at Black Panther. You had Gollum, and you had the Hobbit, and you didn't just say the word precious. Like, come on, you guys were face to face in a room together by yourselves, and you didn't bring up like my precious or it's so precious. I'm like, you're talking about a precious metal anyway, so it would make sense. So, but that's the inside jokey stuff I always like find like the show gets like who the actor is and kind of like throws a little thing that if you know, but if not, it's not like oh shit,
you can do that with TV. It's easier to do with TV. It's harder to do with movies.
It is. Movies are a lot more rigid sometimes, but yeah, but cool. Yeah. Unless you guys got anything else,
I just want to say one more time. T'Challa, Aldis Hodge, T'Challa. Yes. Let's go. Recast T'Challa. Let Aldis Hodge be him. It makes perfect sense. Everything works out. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
So one last thing. You want to look up the Rotten Tomatoes real quick while I talk about this?
All right.
Because I'm kind of curious to see what the Rotten Tomatoes is. But we did get some news earlier today that Amazon's cross creator shares major update on season 2. So while he was speaking with Collider, he had said confirmed by the streamer in April 2024, season 2 is actually filmed. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a spoiler because F it. We started the writer's room back in November, so a year ago. We started filming in April and finished production in September, and we are actually in post-production on season 2. Because each season is a book for me. They're all based on new mysteries. Season 1 is Hero Complex, and season 2 is called Bitter Fruit. So season 2 is already filmed. It's already done. Like they're in post production, so they're almost ready to go on season 2.
That's awesome.
Which is great. Which is super great. That's what you want. That's what you want. That means the Amazon has faith in the show. That means the writers have faith in what they're doing. The actors, like, they know, they're like, don't worry, we're gonna already start season 2 because we don't want to do what a lot of these other people do, and they wait 3 years in between seasons. So yeah.
I got the tomato meter up right now.
What you got?
So what do you think the all critics give Alex Cross. Where would you put it at, guys?
78.
Okay.
I
what
go a
about
little
you?
higher. I want to say maybe like 86.
Okay. You're both way over 76.
Wow.
Okay. What do you think the audience is?
The audience, I
80.
feel, would be higher. Yeah.
Yeah. 89.
Yeah. I'm probably right there, like 90 or something.
66.
No
Really?
shit.
What?
60 freaking.
You have the right one?
Yes.
You
I
have the
looked it up
show and not
twice. I was like,
the movie.
what is going on, guys? And
Wow.
all audience is 66%.
Wow. That's
Seriously?
wild. That's wild.
People don't like Black Lives Matter, man.
I guess it should be 93. That's why I thought the audience would be way higher than the critics, because the critics tend to be a little bit more judgy, on things. But wow,
People don't like things that
disappointing.
make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something that makes me uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. They don't like it. So
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason, the main thing I got from looking at this. If it's not happy joy time and it makes it a little bit difficult to watch, they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, because I've just been hearing so many good things about this show. So, and then watched it and then loved it. I binged it in like 2 days. So, yeah. But
I love
damn.
Amazon MGM, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's wild. But cool. We'll move on to our next topic, next show. But appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out with us, talking about Cross. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about the show. Any favorite moments, any parts that you liked, any cool stuff that you thought was interesting. Let us know down in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We are so close to like 1,700. I think we're like one person away.
So, we are one away.
Yeah, one away. So we're trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. We'll see if we can hit that. But we appreciate all you guys coming in, hanging out with us. And if you are live, stick around, because we're gonna move on to our next topic for the night.